because they look similar to a recommendation from the Commerce Department from a couple weeks ago. But interestingly enough, after that recommendation, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis put out a public letter arguing for more targeted tariffs so that we could exempt some of our key allies who are also steel and aluminum exporters.
Right, Canada, Europe among them, and the Canadians. The foreign minister said today she is not pleased. Canada is not pleased by this. So, which gets us kind of to the national security argument. Walk me through how that happened and where things stand now with that.
Right. So this